I'm Caleb. I'm a senior this year, and I always grew up in the church knowing who God was, being taught in Promised Land and all these things, that God was always for me, He was always with me. And especially going through United and being able to feel His presence through all the events at United and Epworth, I really got to feel like I knew who He was and kind of what He wanted for my life. So I always felt like I could feel God whenever I was at United and I was sitting there worshiping, and I could worship God, but then I could open my eyes and look around and see everyone else worshiping Him. And I kind of built off of that energy of seeing a group of believers just praising God, and that undeniable feeling when you're sitting there worshiping, and it's hard to describe, but you just feel that He's with you and feel that you're actually worshiping someone. I specifically feed off of life groups and being able to talk to other people about my faith, because for me, whenever I doubt or whenever I have questions, I don't like to be able to sit with them, because then that's where my mind starts going awry. But I like to be able to talk to other people about them, and at life groups I am especially able to do that just because of the community that we've built and the community of being able to talk about my faith openly. But then once quarantine hit and all the events stopped, United stopped, we weren't able to go to Epworth or mission trips, it really hit me that for a while my faith was built on these events and not an actual personal relationship with Him. And so that's when I started to be hit with all these doubts on, okay, now I'm not able to get united, now I'm not able to feel His presence and see this community of Christians around me serving Him. And so if I'm not feeling Him now, where is He? Because before I'd always felt His presence around others, and I'd always been taught you'll feel God, you'll know that God is with you, but if I'm not feeling Him, where is He? And so that kind of set me down this spiral of, okay, if I'm not feeling God, maybe He's not even real, maybe I was wrong about my faith. And it got to the point where I still wanted to seek after Him, I still wanted to feel Him, but it got so difficult to seek after Him whenever I felt like I couldn't feel Him anymore, and I felt like He wasn't with me anymore. So after I started having all these doubts, I decided to look in and about where the doubts were coming from, and a lot of them came from me not having a close relationship with Him on my own, but having more of a relationship built on other people, built on serving and doing all these things with the church. And it wasn't until I realized that those things don't make my faith, but those are just parts of my faith, that I was able to kind of overcome my doubts and not question where God is, but realize I can have a personal relationship with God even if I'm not able to serve, even if I'm not able to go on mission trips. And then also looking back on the places where I saw God undeniably in my past, like when I was at United and able to look around and see all these people worshiping God so freely, really helped me realize okay, now I'm just in a time of waiting, and I'm waiting for God to move in my life. And even if I don't feel Him, being able to look back on the things that I've seen Him do in the past, I was able to realize God still is with me, and God isn't just with me when I feel Him, but He's with me in the times where I don't feel Him. He's in the times where I feel Him all the time, and everywhere in between. And I realized God's not a God that you're gonna feel all the time, but He's also not a God that's ever gonna abandon you. And so for me, realizing that I could either let them take control of me and let them draw me further away from God, or take them and realize, okay, I need to have more of a personal relationship with God, and my relationship with God can't be based on the external events like United and life groups. And so I started doing more devos every day, I started praying, and I started kind of focusing and looking for God move in my day-to-day life, not just in the big events. And by looking around and realizing God moves every day, I was able to see Him more and able to realize that He was with me even when I couldn't feel Him. And especially through doing devos and praying and being in His Word, it made it a lot easier to go out and to see Him in the world, because I wasn't just having faith on Sundays and Wednesdays, but I was trying to live out my faith and see His presence that's always there all the time.